My name is Teresa Jackson. I am 24 years old. I have cerebral palsy and type 1 diabetes and I live in Wallington. I make YouTube videos to teach people how to draw with a disability and even to teach people about cerebral palsy. And I would like to do my own podcast on disabilities and what life is like with a disability and the privilege to be able to become an artist. The reason that I got into art is because when I was at college, I wanted to do health and social care or child care. Because I wanted to become a children's social worker. As in my life I had so many social workers and I looked up to them very much to help children like me who needed to be looked after properly. And I always wanted to help people in life, and I wanted to help the vulnerable. But because I was in a special needs college, they did not provide the health and social care course that I wanted to do. So, my next preface of choice was art. At that current time, I did not think or see that I would progress and become a professional artist further on in my life. I find myself doing a lot of sketch art because I gain achievement by creating something that I am interested in. Because this way I feel good about myself and knowing that I am creating a piece of art in my own style makes my journey of being an artist 100 times more existing and makes me want to brand out into more types of art. I have been a professional artist for almost 5 years. I started drawing when I did level 1 art and design back in college back in 2016 to 2017. Then during lockdown I decided to become a professional artist. So I made my website and ever since then I have been drawing. I also have been posting my social media art pages which I have created to showcase my drawings and to promote myself as an artist. I am a sketch artist, so I draw things like animals, buildings, portraits and many more. I have also started doing some digital art in late 2022. Drawing helps me with my mental health on a day-to-day basis. Despite my physical health, I still make time to do my artwork and determined to carry on being a professional artist because I put my mind and all into achieving my goal of becoming a professional and big artist. I would like to help children and young people experience the wonder of the creative art world that we live in. Why am I creating this podcast? Well, I made my TikTok to educate people on disability artists and disabilities. And the same for why I made my YouTube channel. I really wanted to spread the word and make everyone know that having a disability is not an illness, not a disease, and it is not okay for people to feel sorry for people with a disability. People with disabilities are just like any other person and no different. And that we should all be treated the same as everyone else. There is no excuse why people feel the need to pity people with disabilities just because they feel sorry for them. I would like to have a debate over this subject at some point. So, please let me know if you are interested in coming on my podcast. Please make sure that you get in contact with me. Because lots of people in the outside world think that disability is a sign of ill omen to be feared. And this explains why there is a lot of hatred, backlash, suspicion and violence that is associated with disabilities. People may experience some type of awkwardness when they meet someone with a disability because they might feel afraid about whether they will say or do the right thing. I wonder if anyone can relate to this, and if they don't, maybe you can recognize it now. I don't know, maybe you are willing to let me know your thoughts on this. Moving on to discrimination. Discrimination and angst can be incredibly challenging for anyone, but it can be especially difficult for those with disabilities. People with disabilities often face preconceived notions about what they can and can't do. This kind of discrimination can cause feelings of frustration and isolation, leaving many feeling like they don't belong. But it doesn't have to be this way. By understanding disabilities, we can help break down the barriers that limit those with incredible potential. As a society and a community, we have come a long way to recognizing the importance of treating all individuals equally and fairly. However, there is still a lot of unseen injustice when it comes to discrimination against disabilities. People often look down upon people with disabilities, as if the person is not capable of living a fulfilled life. This is significantly not true. Just because someone has a disability does not mean that they are any less or any more valuable than any other human being in this world today. Some individuals with disabilities struggle with getting employment. It is common for employers to see someone with a disability and immediately believe that they are not fit for the job. This is not only unfair, but it is also illegal. All employees must be willing to be prepared to take someone with a disability on. People who have a disability, and if they want to work, should be able to do that in a job of their own choice. It is not fair to get to the job interview and they take one look at you and they turn you down. I went to a job interview, and when I turned up the management said that they did not know that I was in a wheelchair. I was really upset because I put that I was in a wheelchair on my application and my CV. But they still called me in for an interview knowing that I was disabled, and I am in a wheelchair. Please let me know if anyone has had an experience like this and let me know your thoughts. Even in the UK education system, we see the discrimination against disabilities. Students with disabilities are often isolated and ashamed for their differences. The truth is that they are no less intelligent or capable than any other student or adults. People who have a disability should be treated like any other person who does not have a disability or complex needs. Everyone should be treated all the same and equally. No one should be misled to think that people with disabilities are more special than any other person walking our streets. That is not true. People who say people with disabilities are more special than other people who walk and do all the normal things, they are equally to be able to have all the same rights and have a right to their own personal values and beliefs. The fact of the matter is that we need to change our perception of disabilities. Rather than seeing them as a hindrance, we should view them as a unique part of someone's identity. We must strive to create a society that includes all individuals, regardless of their abilities. Because, at the end of the day, we are all human and we all deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. A person's identity is very important because it makes a person the true person that they are in life. Discrimination against people with disabilities is a sad reality that still exists in our world today. It's the ugly truth that we often deny or choose to ignore. Why do people discriminate against disabilities? Is it because they don't understand or fear what they don't know? It's heartbreaking to see people with disabilities being marginalized or treated like they're not worthy of respect and dignity. People with disabilities have the same rights and deserve to be treated equally as anyone else. They may have different abilities, but they also possess unique qualities that make them admirable individuals. Because rights and respect is what makes a person. Perspectives, personal values personalized to each and every one of us in this wide world that we live in. This world can be cruel, kind, resist gender discrimination against gay, bisexual, transgender and lesbian. Happy, joyful, disability discrimination and just any horrible things that will go around. But we can't let this get to us. Just because we have a disability does not mean that people look at us as vegetables or like we are incapable of living a life worth living for. The sad truth is that discrimination against disabilities can happen anywhere, from schools to workplaces, and even in public places. It can happen overtly, through actions and words, or it can happen subtly, through unconscious biases and assumptions. The impact of discrimination against disabilities goes beyond the individual affected. It affects families, friends, and communities. People with disabilities deserve to live in a world where they feel accepted and valued. If we all choose to be accepting to people who has a disability, then they might feel included in this world. Then perhaps people who have disabilities can feel like everyone else and not feel that the odd one out in society. With education and awareness, we can create a more inclusive society that celebrates diversity and empowers everyone to reach their full potential. So let's make a change. Together, we can overcome discrimination and angst by embracing differences, respecting all individuals, and creating a more inclusive society. So, why do people discriminate against disabilities? The answer may never be clear, but what we can do is to educate ourselves, challenge our prejudices, and advocate for inclusion and equality. By doing so, we can work towards a world where discrimination against disabilities is no longer the ugly truth. And make sure that we can teach and talk about the real truth as from today. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 2 years old because I was losing a lot of weight. At the time, I didn't understand what it meant as I was only a toddler. But as I got older, it became a part of who I am. And it's part of my everyday life. If one I woke up and it suddenly disappeared, I would freak out because I am used to it. But I know with type 1 diabetes it's stuck with me for life. Follow advice from your doctor or care team about what to do while you're ill, sometimes called sick day rules. Do not, however, do not skip or change doses of your diabetes medicine unless advised by your doctor or care team to do so. Otherwise, you may become very unwell if you try to change anything yourself without your consultant being involved. You can treat hypoglycemia by drinking plenty of water. However, experts say that drinking water will not bring the sugar level down. but it is different for each person. In my personal experience, I find that water does help. Unless I am too high, then it may take other ways to bring the sugar level down. This is why it is very important to take care of your diabetes and to take your medication when it is required to bring your sugar levels down. If your blood sugar is always high, you will have to follow the advice that your diabetes healthcare team has given you. Next, I am going to talk about how to treat high blood sugar levels. If your blood sugar is a little bit high, then you will not have to go to hospital. But if your blood sugar is consistently high, you may be at risk of developing diabetic ketoacidosis, as known as DKA. But I've learned to manage my diabetes with the help of my family and my medical team. And despite the challenges, I don't let it hold me back. I'm an artist. I have started a YouTube channel. I have hobbies and friends. I don't let diabetes define me. Living with type 1 diabetes has made me stronger and more resilient. It's taught me the importance of self-care and the value of a supportive community. And while it's not always easy, I wouldn't trade my journey for anything. If you're living with type 1 diabetes, know that you're not alone. There are millions of us out there, living our lives the best we can. And if you're not living with diabetes, I hope this video has helped you understand a little bit more about what it means to live with this chronic condition. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.